Tell me that you're mad at me. Tell me that I did something to get on your nerves. Don't just hold it and then next thing you know, 5 weeks later, oh, you remember when you did last 5 months ago or last month ago? I'm gonna look at you like, what? Like what are you talking about? 5 months ago? Because some of us also avoid clarity but expect loyalty. Some of us we avoid this clarity. We avoid clearing up the situation, but we expect somebody to still be loyal to us. Or being unresolved baggage, bringing unresolved baggage into your relationship. I'm scared, and I'm not saying it at the time. I'm scared of people who, when they jump into a relationship, they don't talk about a bad relationship like. And we are back. What's good, Legacy Builders podcast. It's your host. It is your preacher, your teacher, and I hope it's your favorite podcast host, Jaheem President, for another episode here at Legacy Builders Podcast. 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 And we want to walk you back to another episode where we talk about real life, real growth, and building a legacy that lasts. And today's episode is for anybody who's dating, thinking about dating, recovering from dating, or saying, Lord, I might need a break. Wherever you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or beyond, this one is for you. This episode is for you. We're talking about dating, love, the horror stories that nobody warned you about when you're entering this dating or talking or coexisting, cohabitating, marriage, or even singleness. How to find joy in singleness and how to find joy in pursuing the right one or of just the next one. So let's get into it. So dating looks different depending on your age, or it can look similar. But it's very frustrated universal. So no matter how you are in your 20s, you're just trying to figure out who you are. In your 30s, you're more intentional but less patience. In your 40s and up, you're clearer but not interested in wasting time. Or maybe it's in reverse in your 20s where you know where you want to be and you don't want to waste time. In your 30s, you're more intentional, or even 20 and up, you're just like, well, I'm not interested in wasting time. And yet across every stage, the same issues show up: lack of communication, unclear intention, emotional unavailability. People want benefits without commitments. So dating stops us feeling hopeful and start feeling heavy. And after a while, you're afraid of being alone, but then you're also afraid of starting over. And so we find this idea of dating so hard because growing up, society showed us that you want to be you we want to be with somebody. You want to be with somebody. You want to grow old. You want to have that house and the white picket fence and the idea of marriage and the idea of kids and the idea of foundation and the idea of building legacy. But then you look at the dating pool now and it's crazy because sometimes you get chastised for being single. Sometimes you get chastised for being in a relationship. Sometimes you get chastised for going on so many dates. And so you find yourself in a whirlwind of where do you belong? Where do you see yourself? Where is this thing? And dating is very thing, because here it is. Uh, there are horror stories to dating. Some people don't find their true love until they're 40 years old. Some people find their true love when they're in high school. Look, I thought growing up, when I was in middle school, I thought I was going to find the girl of my dreams in high school. We were going to get married by 23. We were going to have our first kid by 26. And we were going to have our next kid. And then we'll be done with having our kids in 33. And we'll raise our kids. And here I am. married, not married. God no, not married, and you start to think because of dating, you start to think that is there something wrong with you when you're living in your singleness. There are periods of times where you may feel like something is wrong with you. You may feel like, God, is it this, is it that, and sometimes you are just so traumatized from your last relationship. Because here it is, people people don't realize it is, I think it's very hard to recover from bad relationships. It sometimes is very hard to recover from somebody you loved, somebody you cared for, somebody who in the end you imagine yourself growing old with, somebody who you plan your life, because we all do it when we date somebody or when we're talking to somebody. We see, or maybe I just do it, but some of us see, we try to picture our future, like, okay, so okay. And so that's why when you're dating somebody, it's just so important that you listen. You start asking questions. I ask questions when I'm interested in somebody, or when I am, courting somebody. I gotta ask questions. I'm like, how many family do you have? What's your family life like? What's your likes, with your dislike? And then I'm also so observant, because I'm like, okay, what triggers you? What do you do that triggers me? Because I've been in relationships where I was putting in 80%. There's relationships I was driving back and forth across the state. I was doing this, buying stuff when I ain't had the money, presents and so now I'm at a point in life where I gotta see, okay, I don't mind. See, here it is. I don't mind giving. I don't mind giving. I don't mind showing love. I don't mind pouring out love. I've always been like that. But I got to see, where do you pour into me? Because I've dated people that have been takers and not givers. And so you live into that state. And so people come, you got to think about when you're dating and when you're in this dating world, people come with triggers and people come with trauma. Because here it is, disappearing. Some people who say one thing and do another. Have you ever dated people like that? They say one thing, oh, I'm gonna give you the dream, I'm gonna give you the world, and then next thing you know, they're nowhere to be found. Or when the time comes, they disappear, or keep you in limbo under the label of just going with the flow. Now, I'll play devil advocate. I am like that, but I can see how that could be triggering somebody. I am one of those people that goes with the flow. I am one of those people you know, don't like arguing. Like, if you look, if you come to me with all that arguing stuff, you're gonna be cut, point blank, period. I've been in a relationship where all we did was argue, and that was draining. Like, you mad at me every 20 seconds, every 5 seconds, every 4 seconds, every 3 seconds, every minute, everything I do. And so, most stories aren't about bad intention; they're about misalignment. So when you look at your horror stories of dating or even marriage, sometimes it's misalignment. Sometimes it's a lack of communication. This we I think one of the worst things that's happened in generations is sometimes our phone, because we don't know how to communicate. We Some of us lack that ability of communicate. I laugh sometimes because when I'm a teacher, and so middle school, that's when dating starts, or this fake dating, I call it, because they'll be dating today and then not dating tomorrow. But I try to instill with my students, when they come to me about their relationship, one of my school sons to come to me about their relationship, about the girl treating them, whatever. I said, well, my always thing is, son, did you tell them that? I know you're telling me because you feel comfortable, but did you tell them that? Some relationships end because of our ability, or our lack thereof, to communicate. We hold up we some people just hold up that anger, and then once they finally hit their breaking point, they release on their partner, they release on whoever they're dating, and then next you know, it's like, whoa, the partner's like, oh, whoa, what happened? What's going on? And they're looking dumbfounded, but no, you should be looking dumbfounded too because you didn't communicate. And that goes on into family world, church world, any world. I think dating has we expect our person we're dating or interests in or people recording, we expect them to read our minds. No, if you're dating me, tell me what's wrong with you. Tell me that you're mad at me. Tell me that I did something to get on your nerves. Don't just hold it and then next thing you know, 5 weeks later, you remember when you did last 5 months ago or last month ago? I'm looking at you like, what? Like what are you talking about? 5 months ago? Because some of us also avoid clarity but expect loyalty. Some of us we avoid this clarity. We avoid clearing up the situation, but we expect somebody to still be loyal to us. Or being unresolved baggage, bringing unresolved baggage into your relationship. I'm scared, and I'm not saying it at the time. I'm scared of people who, when they jump into a relationship, they don't talk about a bad relationship. Like, what? Why did it end? I always ask that question. Why did your relationship end before? Why did it end? Because I gotta know not what to do wrong, but I gotta know. Okay, so that da 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 da. What is your emotional trigger? What is the grief from the past relationship, past episode? Go look at it. What's the grief you're hearing? And then here it is. But then you also have to realize you got to help them move out of it, and you got to, and then you have to ask to put in that much time on that situation, because sometimes here it is. We try to go in, yeah, we're good, and then by third month, you looking at them like, man, come on. And but then they're looking at you like, no, that was traumatizing for me in that last relationship. And so that's where you have to realize maybe it's the right person, wrong time. Now I've experienced that a lot. Where it's the right person is the wrong time. And here it is. That is hurtful to say, but that could be true. That could be very true. That it could be the right person just in the wrong season. And so we see why dating can be so exhausting because boundaries are seen as barriers. I'm okay with your boundaries. Look, one time I was talking, and you know, and even boundaries in friendship too, but you have to realize that it's not always about you. In relationships, it's not always about you, no matter what type of relationship it be. And you have to realize that some people boundaries doesn't mean that they don't love you, like you, want to be with you, or da da da. But that's just where they are. So especially when somebody who's been single for a while, somebody who's been operating by themselves, and then now you hit a union, it may be a while, it may be a boundary that they don't see you every day. Sometimes they may not want to be on the phone with you every day. Sometimes they may want that space, but then here it is. You could be so clean. You be like, oh, no, oh, they must be cheating. No, they ain't cheating. They just had a long stressful day, and they don't feel like talking to you right now. And that's okay. That don't mean they don't. That don't mean they like you less. That don't mean they less. No, they just need some space. And so we have to realize that boundaries in relationships are okay. Boundaries in marriages are okay. Boundary and friendships are okay. So if you one of those people that don't respect other people's boundary, you're gonna end up being single, or you're gonna end up missing out on great people because you don't respect nobody's boundaries. And here it is. People aren't honest about where they are. Some people, some people are better off single to fix themselves than to get into these series of unproductive relationships, of unproductive friendships, of unproductive this and that, and then you end up ruining the other person because you're not ready. And so you have to be honest about where you are. You have to be honest about where are you capable of dating right now, because so many people are walking around unhappy, and they're unhappy because they're not honest with their where they are. So they're jumping in these different relationships, they're jumping in these different situationships, and you got to realize you got to be honest about where you are. And then sometimes loneliness gets mistaken for love. Some people are just lonely. Have you ever met people who cannot be alone? Have you met people who always need to be around people, always need to be talking to somebody, always need to be? And I'm scared of those people because that means they're running away from something that they haven't dealt with. Look, if you have somebody that you're talking to or dating, and or even marriage, and they always got to be on the phone with you 24/7, like while you're at work, or they always got to do this, or they always got to do that, and they have no friends outside of you. They have no life outside of your relationship. Run, hit the Forrest Gump, and get out of there. Get out of there. If they're building their life solely on you, and their life is dependent on you, and we make the mistakes. Oh, that's madly in love. No, that's mad. That's codependency. That means they can't depend on nobody but you, or besides themselves. They can't be independent. So if you see somebody like that, if you see that, run. And I'm not saying that they're not overjoyed or whatever, but you have to be willing enough. You have to say, okay, I need some space. It's okay. So people who can't be alone, people who can't build alone, and many people date while wounded. And wounded people don't mean to hurt others, but they often do. And that's why clarity matters, um, as well as chemistry. Now, you can't just be dating somebody and you got no chemistry. That's another thing. All right, so here's this difference. I was talking to my students about this, and telling my friends there is a difference between talking, dating, and commitment. Talking, dating, and commitment. So here's talking is casually conversation, getting to know each other, no assumptions, um, no, just exclusive. Let's discuss an observation, not investment. And that's the mistake. People start acting committed in the talking stage. So access without agreement often creates heartbreak. If you talking in the day you already want to marry them by the next month, whoa, whoa. Now there are special cases that happens, but no, if you're talking to somebody, get to know them, get to know if they crazy or not. That's a big one. Get to know if they behind crazy or not, because you don't want to be dating somebody, or here it is, you don't want to be committed to somebody and they are crazy and as cuckoo for cocoa puffs. Huh? Huh? Hmm. Ask me again, I'll tell you the same. And dating, so dating is intentional, purpose driven, clear expectations, some consistency, often uh exclusive or clearly discussed. So when you're dating somebody, I mean, you're going out on dates. I mean, it's gotten more serious compared to the talking stage. It's more, da 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 da. It's more. It's more. And so, and dating asks, are we building towards something, or are we just passing the time? So when you're dating, you ask yourself, are we building towards something, or are we just passing the time? And then here it is: commitment is defined, it's secured, and it's directional. So there's no guessing. There's no emotional. There should be no emotional confusion. There should be no mixed signals. There should not be. And if you're always asking yourself where you stand, you don't stand nowhere. You don't stand anywhere stable. So if you're always asking that question, what are you? So those things. And I want to talk to my single folks. There is Singleness is not a setback. It's not a pause on life. It is not something to rush through. Singleness is a season to heal patterns, to rediscover yourself, to build stability, to strengthen boundaries, and to enjoy your peace. Let me say that again. Singleness is a season where you heal patterns, cycles that you may have been going to, rediscover yourself, build stability, strengthen boundaries, and enjoy your peace. Enjoy your peace wherever you may be, 25, 45, 85, whatever, 19, 18, maybe 16, listen to this. Peace, you don't realize how peace is so priceless. Because once somebody rob you back of your peace, it's sometimes hard to get back. Sometimes it takes people years, some months, some even weeks. But it's okay to be single. It's okay. I know society's telling you, oh, get married tomorrow. Or get no. Deal with yourself. Go understand yourself. Go understand where you may need strength or where what some because here it is. Some people I always tell my female friends this. Don't don't be like, oh, I'm dependent on the man to buy me this, man to buy me this. What? No, go build your own life. Because here it is. When I marry, it's a partnership. It's not me covering everything you lacking. No, no, no. It's a partnership. How can I build you? How can you build me? And how can we build something together? But here it is. You can't build nothing on no weak foundation. I want to be steady as a rock. Steady as a rock. Because when you build higher, you don't got time to be checking every time for the foundation. When they're building skyscrapers, they don't got. When you're building up to the 18th floor, you already know, you're not even thinking about falling because you know the foundation has been secured. You walked on it. You've stomped on it. You run on it. You made sure before you even built up. So when you get into that stage of dating somebody or commitment or even marriage or even talking, make sure y'all foundation is right because that's when many people break up. That's when many people do this is because your foundation is not right. And so when your foundation is not right, when there's a little crack or when you're not you it starts to crumble. Small things become into big things, and then big things become into major things, and then eventually you end up hating somebody who you once thought you loved or you did love. And so enjoy it. It's okay to be single. And it's okay. Waiting for the right one doesn't mean waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. Waiting means becoming more self-aware, more secure. Some people wait 20 years. Some people wait 5 years. Some people get divorced and don't wait again. So the right relationship won't rush you. It won't drain you. It won't confuse you. No, it will make you better. And so legacy when we closing this up, um, research shows that many people delay marriage due to financial and social expectation. Look, I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses, and neither should you. Let me say that again. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses, and neither should feel pressure to establish something before committing. We're taught strength and provision were more than emotional expressions, desiring long term partnership, but fear of choosing the wrong person. We all been there, choosing the wrong person, or fearful of choosing the wrong person. And so, however, emotional avoidance and unclear intentions will still cause harm. It really will. So I really want to leave you with this. Here's the truth: love shouldn't cost you your peace. Dating shouldn't erase your identity, and relationships shouldn't distract you from your purpose. Let me say that again: love shouldn't cost you your peace. Dating shouldn't erase your identity, and relationships shouldn't distract you from your purpose. The right one will come And the right one will add to your life, respect your growth, match your effort, and build with you. And so this episode is actually 2 years old. Like I should have been dropped this episode. So I wanted to come talk to you about that and talk about the power of dating and the lessons and the love that you can, but you can't do that until you love yourself. So first love yourself, know what you want, have clear expectations, don't settle, have clear expectations, and then go out there and enjoy. Don't listen to social media where it says the dating market is bad. It may be a little murky. You may have to swim through, but I think that it is so necessary and so beneficial for you. I love you, family. Next week, Monday, when our next episode Monday air, it will be my birthday. And so that will be our special episode. But I love you, family. Keep going, keep growing. Something better for you on the other side. Love you.